Do you think we're going to see another Trump and Biden rematch? Well, let's get into all of the data and the polls and the census that's been collected over the last 6 months, and I'll tell you why there's like a slim chance not going to happen. Okay, so let's get into current factors that could sway people's opinions and why you'll see this consensus here, or census of overall ratings that people have submitted through polls. And you still have Trump's tax return thing being in talks, which is pretty much the main one they keep shooting for right now. And then you have Biden on their side with the laptop and his son and all this stuff going on. And, in the past, there's been things that people brought up that seem a little bit like a lie, maybe not. But let's move over here to the recent census taken, and if you look here, you'll see registered voters between Republicans. It seems like still Donald Trump's in the highlight here, and if you go down, they did vote for him in 2020, but you do see there's a 3% drop. Do you believe Trump should run in President 24? Well, this is actually is higher, and there's reasons why. It's, I think, because people, there's certain some of difference. Like, people like change in a way. Some people are stuck on it, but when it's coming to this, every 4 years they think something new is going to happen, something different is going to change whatever is happening. And I think the first time they thought this was the big change. This is a guy that we is on the inside, he's on the political side, and he says, I know what these guys are doing because I'm one of them. And I think people saw that as a light of saying, like, oh my gosh, we have somebody on our side. We have somebody that's in the office in the current administration who's actually one of us, and he's being transparent with us. And as time went on, news and catalysts came out where people are plunging at him, or things came out that were true. And, watching him speak to his numbers or speak to his truths, whether have you, whichever you believe in or not, the news and the story here is that people are starting to not trust him as much. Why he has put his foot in early. We got 2 years and he's already saying, yep, I'm going to do it. So this is part of why, when you these numbers do go into, if you're retired or your age or your demographic, or do you have a college degree, are you retired? It goes through all of them, but I've highlighted the ones that are kind of key points. And this one right here is a big sign. That's over all census here. So yes, we have this ones who are Republicans saying, yeah, I would vote for him, but in the past it has gone down. Now they're saying, maybe not overall. And if you see here, Democratic men and women, obviously very low. Republican men, Republican women, still here, and women has actually gone up. When Donald Trump's spot, he actually has increased from the last poll in women, which could have taken some time. Maybe they've gotten some things passed for them that puts them more on his side. But if we look at Biden's, it's actually gone down from the last. And then also, if you see age 65 plus, 10%. That's not very high, and I think that's also because of what we're going through currently with the economic difficulties, and people are retiring. And when you're retiring at a time like this and your portfolio is down more than 50%, depending on who you're going through, hopefully you have somebody good, but there is struggles, and people right now are, if they are retiring and they're collecting money, it's not a great time during inflation. Before we get back to the video, subscribe to the channel if you like all the content I'm bringing you. Go ahead and like this video and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Also, click right here on the link to check out the I American clothing brand. And when we look here about, if you want to go into ethnicity and how much people make, or religion, if you see for Trump's, you have 47% and 57% for Christian or agnostic, something in general they believe in. It's high. When you compare to Biden's, ethnicities or religion, you get 28%, 10%, 12% of that same range, which is a lot lower, and I find that a little strange. Here's what also could be a big factor is people are also kind of yearning for that change again. They wanted it in 2016, they got it, they thought they did, and now they want it again because the recent poll of 75% of America think that's a high result of people thinking that we're not going the right direction. And one of the biggest leading factors of that is safety. Theft is higher than it's ever been before. Crime. And this is where a lot of people talked about that big red wave that didn't really show up, but in recent reports now it's kind of started to tick up again. Which also, yes, there wasn't that red wave, but if you see the change in Democrats, like Nancy Pelosi, why is she leaving now? Has she actually stated why she's leaving? Yes, but it's just kind of weird. Very outspoken, and I find it strange just like that. Yes, there's things going on with her husband as well, but she's just like, bye bye, I'm out. And sometimes that to me can be like, well, because she sees what I'm seeing, or they. And this is from ABC News, latest polls, and they run, 100 best outcomes samples of what's going on. And what they're seeing is that the current House, you have 213 Republicans, 222 Democrat seats. Well, what they're projecting is a big increase, actually, in it being 246 and Republicans to the majority of 221 seats for Democrats. They're saying that Republicans have an 80% chance of holding between 214 and 246 seats, which could outdo the Democratic vote. If that happens, then you will start to see more backup and more push for the Republicans. Each time these polls or votes are taken, that's where they start to get darker here on the poll. And this is what keeps happening. It's been a trend and increase up, so it's getting darker as, yeah, they're starting to think that it could be up to 240. And as the polls keep coming in, there's a slight dip and then we're back up. So they're saying that Republicans actually have a higher chance, 84 and 100, 16 and 100 for Democrats. The very last poll they've gotten to is 230 to 205, which you've got a 4% margin here. And then we'll jump to just like what the world's saying in the news. And these also polls that I've clipped off the internet here, and we'll take a look at this. Even there, we have Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump. Even though I think this is still, not really been stated, he's not saying he's going to run. But why would you? I mean, why would you state this far in advance that you're going to run for president when you have this much time before there's going to be an election? And, you know, if all Donald Trump has to say is like a tweet or something on one of his platforms like, I'm running for president. Well, there it is. That was his campaign. But when you have Ron DeSantis and the other guys, they have to push a little more. Yes, he's making some wind, he's making some noise, but still not there to the capacity of the platforms that he can get on. Donald Trump can say one thing and it's over every single platform in the matter of seconds. I do find it weird that we have Donald Trump's son. No, that's not going to happen because they're not going to go against each other. That wouldn't be a thing. Mike Pence also is another one leading. He's also not stated, but again, I think these are people, Ron DeSantis or Mike Pence, are going to come in at that last 6 month to a year range and say, all right, yeah, I'll run, feeling out how things are going to go, while one Republican here, Donald Trump's already claimed that he is going to run for president. If you look here also, which go back to a recent Wall Street Journal showed that DeSantis leads Trump by 52% to 38%. So another reason to say, hey, let's just keep watching this, see what goes on with Trump, and maybe I can make my way in towards the end. And even here's one of the people that, is heard around the world currently now. This guy's almost being heard as much as Trump, or actually probably more. And Elon Musk said Trump would be 82 at the end of his term, which is too old to be a chief executive of anything, let alone the United States of America. If DeSantis runs against Biden in 2024, then DeSantis will easily win. He doesn't even need a campaign. And that's kind of where it is. He's making news. He's making headway just by, the way he talks, the way he puts his administration in line, the things that he believes in, he backs it up and follows through. So again, it's that thing that people can see. They're like, this is change. This is a guy I can trust because what he says actually happens. And when you're looking at who's a possible candidate for the Democratic side, since it's only Joe Biden that everyone's talking about, which is still, you know, very popular amongst all the rest. And you look at percentages by even Kamala Harris being second. Well, she lost horribly, even though she is the vice president. She did lose horribly to him way early in the election. And then you have Pete Buttigieg, which is right behind. He's in charge of transportation and all that stuff, so he's making a little way here. Then again, there's not much you're seeing here on the Democratic sides because they've already pushed for Biden to win. He's doing it. He's already there. No matter what people are saying on the census or overall consensus of things, he's still holding, and people are still backing him up, it seems, even though his approval rating is lower. Same thing happened to Trump. Well, look at Trump now. He's back in and he's the one that's guaranteed in running. Yes, there'll be more to come. Not a lot of people want to campaign and spend the money. So they're going to wait and feel this out to see how this works. So it always is. And then at the end, like I said, 6 months to a year, you'll see everyone start popping in and chiming in that they want to run. And here's what their outlook's going to look like. So for Democrats, we're not getting a lot of news. We're not getting a lot of polls. We're not getting a lot of data on this. It still looks like Joe Biden's actually in the running as to be the lead one. But when we go to, is it going to be Trump first, Biden? I really don't think it will be. When you look at everything else that's circulating, the next one in line, and I know it's not been stated, but it really does look like it could be either Ron DeSantis and Biden, which if that happens, I'm sorry, it looks like Ron DeSantis will probably win because people are going to see this change, this new light of somebody following through with their words. If not Biden, on the recent data, it looks like Pete Buttigieg would be the next one. But I also don't see him as a strong candidate either because he didn't go that far in the last race. So when it comes down to it, people think that Trump and Biden are going to run against each other. I don't see it happening. I don't think people want to see what we saw before. That debate was disappointing, to me, an embarrassment amongst Americans. Who we are. It was ran very unprofessionally between all parties. I don't care. It was all of them. And I think people do still hold that class. Especially on the Republicans or Democratic sides. And that's what it is. You will see the current administration with Biden right now and if it changes and who wants to know what you're paying attention to. But if it doesn't shape up soon and like this Fed is narrowing down the interest rates and narrowing down the inflation to get it back to that 2%. So if that can be done before the new election starts or whatever, well then you will probably see an uptick in votes for Biden, which will keep him in the running. Same with safety, which is why I said that in the beginning. 75% of people think this is going in the wrong direction, and the biggest one is fear of safety, with theft being up and crime being up. Now, if you see 6 months to a year out, you'll start to see the Democrats or Biden probably push more towards policing and getting back into that if they know that'll help with the numbers. So as much people want to say this whole like laptop thing or everything, yeah, it still looks like Biden will be in the running for the Democratic side. But on the other side for Trump, I think it's old news. I think people want something new. I think they want someone that will fight the same and carry their message through, but also has a little bit of class. So I really do think it'll be Pete Buttigieg and Ron DeSantis or Biden and Ron DeSantis. But Ron DeSantis, if he doesn't, I'll be very, very shocked if he doesn't put his name out there within the last 6 months to a year that he's running.